To right the wrongs of the legal system, Bruce Wayne will need to come up against his toughest challenge to date, and that is the very idea of Batman himself. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into Batman issue number 52 and find out. Alright, so previously on 12 Angry Batmen, the jury was still hung with Bruce Wayne being the only one who believed in Mr. Freeze's innocence. Needless to say, holding everyone up doesn't exactly make Bruce a lot of friends on the jury. Keep in mind, these are workaday schlubs here, not playboy billionaires. They actually have lives to get back to. The other jury members think that this is all one giant game to Bruce, or at worst some weird kind of vacation distraction from his rich guy life, and I mean, they're only about half right. They decide to go over the evidence one more time. 3 women are dead, all around the age of Mr. Freeze's cryogenically frozen wife. The original coroner was unable to discover that they had actually died from having the temperature in their brains lowered, but Batman did eventually discover that later. Freeze had breached his parole to repair his suit and build a brand new freeze gun in order to fight Batman, and when apprehended, he confessed to Batman and then eventually confessed to the police as well. The rest of the jury think this is an open and shut case. After all, it's Batman who brought him in. Batman is always right. Batman is so great, isn't he? But Bruce vehemently disagrees, putting himself into the position that Batman isn't always right. In fact, sometimes he's reckless and kind of sucks at his job. And you know what? More than even the wedding, I think this moment right here is the true culmination of everything Tom King has done writing Batman over the last couple years, putting Bruce Wayne in a situation where the only way justice can be done and the day can be saved is if he can convince a group of people who really love Batman that he's actually not shit at all. And he's got a multifaceted PowerPoint presentation to get his point across. First off, he says maybe Batman missed something when examining the corpses, that something very well could have been changed or tampered with in between the time Gordon's coroner searched the body and when Batman searched the body later on. He also argues that Mr. Freeze's action of putting on his super suit, building a new weapon, was not because he was guilty, but because he was actively trying to defend himself from a Batman beatdown. Because Batman only ever beats up Mr. Freeze, never wants to talk, according to Tom King, that he's just that sort of brutal person and maybe Mr. Freeze is dealing with some manner of PTSD. Which Bruce further tries to get across to the Kathy Bates-looking member of the jury by, get this, invoking the murder of his parents. Which, by the way, he re-explains to these people in excruciating detail, even though he's famous and even though the murder of the Waynes is probably in this universe right up there with the death of Princess Di or the assassination of Kennedy. And lastly, there's Mr. Freeze's confession, the one he made to Batman under duress and the one that he later changed after making to police. Bruce doesn't believe any of that should be admissible, but once again, the jurors won't budge on Batman being right, Batman always being right, Batman being the bestest in the world, and because of that, Bruce says he has not even begun to explain to them how Batman is overly emotional, biased, incompetent, and generally out of control as the comic ends. So that was Batman number 52, everybody. And again, I made that 12 Angry Men joke at the beginning and I stand by it. That's basically what this was. So, you know, whether or not you like this issue really boils down to how much you like dry legal procedures. The overall conceit of Bruce Wayne being forced to poke holes in the image of Batman for the betterment of justice is definitely a compelling little angle to take with this story, but it kind of falls apart when you realize that Tom King is now just coming out and saying what I've been thinking he's been saying this whole time, and that is he thinks Batman isn't that good at his job. In fact, if you go back and watch my old videos, Bruce Wayne literally uses the same types of words: incompetent, overly emotional, etc., etc. I don't know if I would necessarily call this issue good, but it definitely was more interesting to me than the Catwoman stuff that came before it, which is why I'll ultimately give it a 6 out of 10, even if I was bored for a good chunk of it.
Hey there everyone, it's Caped Crusader again, and I want to thank you for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I've been hard at work on. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Caped Crusader, so you're always up to date on what I got coming out from the channel next. And hey, if you're in the market for a brand new comic book trade and want to save yourself some money, use my book depository link down in the description. Not only will you not have to pay a cent for shipping, but everything you buy via my link goes to help me in the channel, which is always much appreciated. So until next time, everyone, this has been Caped Joel. I will be back again next time with more great comic content that absolutely smacks. Bye-bye, everybody.